Hi everybody, welcome to Letters from the Lighthouse reading. I'm reading it by Emma Carroll. I'm reading an extract of about 4 pages. This is a book that the Year 6s read, and I know that Miss Thompson introduced it a few years ago because that's when I bought this book, but I hadn't actually started reading it until Christmas Eve, just gone. I'm trying to set myself a challenge to read a book a month because I don't feel like I'm reading enough. And I have got 16 pages left to go. I'm very excited, and only a few days left of the month. So I'm just going to read the back of the book for you. Now, it's set during World War II. So World War II was between 1939 and 1945. So I'll read the back. It says, I'll hold it up so you can see it. We weren't supposed to be going to the pictures that night, not when German bombs had been falling like pennies from a jar. February 1941. A bomb blast, a chance encounter, her mother's coat. This is all Olive can remember of the night her sister Suki went missing. With London unsafe, Olive and her brother are evacuated to the Devonshire coast to stay with a mysterious lighthouse keeper. There, Olive must solve a mystery of her own. A strange, coded note which seems to link Suki to Devon and to something dark and impossibly dangerous. So this is the part from page 176. I'll just share it with you on the screen so that you can see also the bits that I'm reading. Okay, so that's the front page. We chose Mrs. Arby. We all chose her because she was one of the best, Ephraim added. It was such a difficult run, sailing overnight from the northernmost tip of France to here, and now, without the lighthouse functioning and this dreadful weather. He stopped dismally, but I was keen to keep him talking. Tell me about the code. How does it work? Ephraim glanced at the note in my hand. I still didn't give it to him, and I think he saw my determination. I wanted to crack the code myself. Everything's an opposite, he said. Try it. Spreading the note over my knee, I studied it once again. You can see the letters and numbers there. If the code worked on opposites, then day would be night. And on a clock face, the direct opposite of 9 was 3, which must mean day 9 was night at 3. 3 o'clock in the morning, the sort of time people did things they didn't want anyone else to know about. Opposites, I reminded myself. Day equals night, so the opposite of the alphabet might be numbers? Could A equal 1, B equal 2, right up to Z equaling 26? I tried it on the next line of the note. I 26.8T/UI, swapping letters for numbers and numbers for letters until I ended up with a different code. 9ZH20/21/9. It still didn't mean anything. What if the numbers, letters idea worked as opposites? From A equaled 26 down to Z equaling 1. Each line started and ended with a letter. Maybe were they opposites too? I tried swapping A with Z and so on, but that didn't work either. I was stuck again. I went back to the opposites idea. Day, night, light, dark. Yet it still didn't seem to fit. I'd always been rubbish at codes. Last summer holidays, Cliff and his friends invented one you had to read backwards in the mirror, and I couldn't even break that. Though you'd hardly expect an important wartime message to be written in a simple schoolboy code, or would you? I looked at the note again. Could the alphabet be a sort of reflection? If you halved it and went backwards, so A became M, which meant the first line read as E268T/SE. Now for the numbers. For my brain, this bit was harder. Keep thinking backwards, I told myself. So I swapped all the numbers for letters, starting from the opposite end of the alphabet, with 26 equaling A. The result this time was different. Day 9, east, southeast, dark house, lat minus 50.26, long plus 3.6. I was getting somewhere. The message almost made sense, especially if you remember that east-southeast was really west-southwest. The last line, looking like directions on a map, were also probably opposites, and it was obvious what dark house meant. I wasn't sure any of this was good news, though. Well? Ephraim asked expectantly. I shook my head. Cracking the code had confirmed my worst fears. She was coming here. The note says dark house, and there are numbers like you get on maps. She was on the missing boat. Ephraim frowned. That can't be right. It must be. That man she met gave her the details, and she hid them in her pocket. But then she lost the coat, didn't she? So your boat, full of visitors, tried to make the crossing without the information. That's where their journey went wrong. Ephraim blew out his cheeks. Well, I asked, that's it, isn't it? No, it isn't. But I did the opposite thing you said, and... Show me the note again, Ephraim demanded. This time I handed him the piece of paper. He read it in seconds. What do you think it says? I asked. Ephraim scratched his head, so his hair stood up on end. The boat was meant to come here, you're right, but I still can't see how Suki would have got hold of this information. What do we do now? Ephraim stood up. I need to speak to the others, he said, clearly agitated. This changes everything. If the instructions never got to Mrs. Arby in the first place, those poor people might still be in France. I dread to think what's happened to them if that's the case. So, do you believe me now? You think Suki's involved? He hesitated. I really hope not. It was a grim answer, for it meant the boat I was certain my sister was on was unlikely ever to arrive. Okay, so that is the end of that. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to, you can always find out from me what happened at the end of the story. I'm still waiting to find out because I've still got a few pages left, so I will let you know. Bye, everybody.